she cheated. You don't trust him, do you? God, Mary still infuriates me. I just... Mary.
To Portugalto.
He can't do anything with it, though. He's in prison. Oh, God. What a tease. Hello everyone, I am James. Welcome to my channel, Jimmy Wren Reacts. We are back with Downton Abbey Season 3. I cannot wait to get back into this. Last we left off at the end of Season 2. I think the main thing was that Mr. Bates, his fate was in limbo. We don't know what's really going to happen to him. He was sentenced to death, but then that was reduced to life in prison, but now we don't know what's going to happen after that. And with Anna, Mary got back together with Matthew. Sybil is away, I think in Dublin, with Branson, and they're gonna have a baby. Overall, I am so excited to continue on with this series. I've fallen in love with the characters, the story, the setting. I've learned so much about British aristocracy, and even the pacing. It moves very quickly, but it's not a bad thing. I like how they show the different characters through the time periods, especially pre-war, during the war, and now after the war. I'm sure not just their costumes, their clothes are going to change, but the attitudes and the culture and things like that are going to be changing while other things stay the same. I can't wait to get back in it. Hopefully you've enjoyed being on this journey with me. If you like this video, if you like this content, please give me a like or subscribe. It'd really help me out. Or you can watch the full length watch along on my Patreon, where you can vote on what I'm going to watch next. So without further ado, let's get into it. So excited to get back into this. Okay, the intro is looks the same. I don't know how many episodes this season is either for season 3. Is it more or the same? And will there be a Christmas episode at the end? I heard there is at the end of every season or something like that. Spring 1920. All right. There's Daisy.
Is there any news of Sybil?
She's still not coming. She insists they can't afford it.
Can we get the troops organized?
Are they getting
That means me.
rehearsal?
Is there really no way we can get Sybil over? It seems ridiculous.
On the contrary, it's a relief.
He's making a problem where none exists. No one could care less.
Yeah, what's the problem?
Well, the fact remains, she has run off with the chauffeur, and they'll have to get used to it.
Is Sybil gonna be in the show anymore? I mean, and Branson, are they like written off, or are they gonna come back? Hopefully they'll be back. Love Sybil. There's Downton Abbey.
So, Mrs. Hughes and Anna are getting the place ready to let?
That is the plan. In this house, Mr. Bates is a wronged man seeking justice. If you have any problems with that definition, I suggest you eat in the yard.
He is a convicted murderer, though. And Thomas is back permanently? I guess so.
The family must never be a topic of conversation.
I'm afraid Sybil's already made the Crawleys a permanent topic.
All the more reason. If we can show the county he can behave normally, they will soon lose interest in him.
And why should he be normal, as you call it? I say he should come here and fight his corner. I like a man of strong beliefs.
They don't.
Look, I'll come and see you tomorrow. No, I insist.
So are they gonna go into... I mean, this is the 20s.
What's the matter?
Things are really good until World War II and the Depression.
How was London?
We got it all done, but I couldn't have managed without my helper.
I'll start on the final list for the wedding tomorrow morning. How will you manage without a footman?
I agree, but I haven't time to find one now.
I've had a letter from my sister asking after a job for her son.
We are about to host a society wedding. I have no time for training young hobbledehoy.
Hobbledehoys. I don't know what a hobbledehoy is, but that's an unusual word.
Ask me what?
Carson's in need of a footman, and O'Brien has a candidate.
Alfred Nugent, my lord. He's a good worker.
Whatever you say. My dear, I have to go up to London tomorrow. I'll be catching the early train.
Okay, there's something up.
What are you going for?
It's nothing to bother you with.
Just some business. I think this is something... That was the phone call before, right? There's Anna. Prison.
So there, Every entry.
Where did you find the book?
Behind the bureau.
So what do you want me to do?
Make notes on all the names.
She's not working at Downton anymore, is that right?
So what news have you got?
What news could I have in here? Oh, I've acquired a new cellmate. To be honest, I'm not sure about him.
Cellmate.
Do you think you can get the notes done before my next visit?
I don't see what can come of it.
Probably nothing, but one day something will occur to us and we'll follow it up and the case against you will crumble.
I hope so.
You're too tall to be a footman. No footman should be over 6'1".
I was a hotel waiter after I was discharged from the army.
I think to get a job as a waiter shows real initiative.
I mean to try, Mr. Carson.
As long as you do, go upstairs and get settled in. Your aunt will hopefully find you a livery that fits.
Wow. Got another ginger. O'Brien's nephew.
Oh, it's nice of them. Though I doubt I'll get used to taking you to bed with your father watching.
He's so relieved we're getting married, he wouldn't mind if you carried me up naked.
Wow, look at their clothes.
I want us to get to know each other, to learn about who we both are without everybody being there.
Well, it's quite a big house.
It's a lovely house. It's your home, and I want it to be my home, too.
They've known each other for like 6 years, though. I guess as a couple, I mean, you'll never stop learning about each other.
Chancery Lane.
And since I'm a trustee, should the estate ever need one, we felt I ought to be the one to tell you.
You
make it sound very serious. I'm expressing myself badly if you think it is not serious. Why did we invest so much?
Lord Grantham, it was you who insisted we should. If you remember, we advised against it.
It wasn't just me. Everyone said we couldn't lose.
Uh-oh. They're in money trouble.
We knew hard times were coming for estates like Downton.
The fact is, the company is about to be declared bankrupt.
Oh my god. Everything's gone up in smoke. Just.
Are you really telling me that all the money is gone?
Yeah, it's all gone.
I'm afraid so.
They need someone to save
the
them.
share of Cora's fortune.
Oh my god, what a disaster. What are they gonna do?
I've sacrificed too much to Downton to give in now. I refuse to be the failure. The Earl who dropped the torch and let the flame go out.
Hate to state the obvious, but if there's not enough money to run it, Downton must go. Unless you break it up and sell it off piecemeal.
I couldn't do that. I have a duty beyond saving my own skin. The estate must be a major employer and support the house, or there's no point to it.
Wow. Someone needs to save that railroad. He said it won't be absorbed into the main Canadian line. There's Edith. Oh, she's looking a little different. Their clothes are so much more muted.
What are you doing here?
I'm meeting a train. I mustn't hold you up.
Oh, I'm not doing anything. I thought I'd get away from wedding panic. I've talked of clothes and flowers and food and guests until I'm blue in the face.
Yes, weddings can be reminders of one's loneliness, can't they? Sorry, I don't know why I said that. Is your grandmother coming over from New York for it?
She is.
Ah.
Is she here yet?
As a matter of fact, she wasn't coming, but I think she is now. Mary had a letter this morning. Papa doesn't know yet.
He will be pleased.
I do hope so.
Will he? And she's still hanging out with that dude, huh?
When you're back from honeymoon.
Not live. Stay.
No more Crawley House.
You and Mrs. Bird to look after Mrs. Crawley.
You'll not be taking me with you, sir? Only I thought you'd be needing a proper valet once you're married.
I've always thought of you as more of a butler who helps out as a valet.
Well, I'd be happy to be a valet, sir, especially in the big house.
We won't be at the big house for long. To be honest, Mosley, I want to live more simply after the wedding. And besides, Mother absolutely relies on you.
Well, that's very nice to hear, sir. Thank you.
Poor Mosley, he's been stuck at Crawley House forever.
The new footman arrived while you were gone?
What?
Yes. He got the cable this morning and came straight over.
But when did... Never mind.
He told her, Cora, like whatever.
Did you know about the new footman?
Yeah.
Of course. He's already here.
Why did no one tell me?
What do you mean? We talked about it last night.
Well, nobody else must be taken on. Absolutely no one. Until things are settled.
What things?
How's the wedding going? I suppose it's costing the earth.
Mary was never going to marry on the cheap.
Oh, no. Nothing must be done on the cheap.
Oh, no. He's stressed out.
You've got the skill and you've got the willingness.
But he hasn't got the experience.
He's right.
Wow, he is tall.
But you're not vain like Thomas. They'll like that.
All right, Alfred.
What's the matter with you?
I'm fed up. They promised me promotion. She said they'd get a new kitchen maid and I'd be Mrs. Patmore's assistant.
Well, if they really promise, you should withdraw your services.
What do you mean? Like, go on strike?
This doesn't seem like this is the right time.
But what was in the letter?
Just that Sybil's coming after all. She'll be here on Wednesday in time for dinner.
Will she be coming alone?
Don't make trouble, Mother.
Yeah, are you really that tall?
Yes, my lady.
Thought you might have been walking on stilts.
They're making a big deal about his height.
I'm so looking forward to seeing your mother again. When I'm with her, I'm reminded of the virtues of the English.
But isn't she American?
Exactly.
They don't like Americans very much, do they?
What do you think you're doing? You're not in a hotel now.
Did you train in a hotel?
I did, ma'am.
That will be useful, won't it, Carson? Are you all set for the wedding?
Of course he is.
But you have all the help you need.
Well, I wouldn't fight the idea of a second footman, my lady.
I don't know about the rest of you, but I sometimes think it's time we lived in a simpler way.
I agree. Much cattle, much care.
Oh, don't say that. It's our job to provide employment. An aristocrat with no servants is as much use to the county as a glass hammer.
Typical.
What's typical?
I'd wind up looking after Mr. Matthew.
He hasn't thought it through. I'm sorry to say it, but he hasn't.
Are you worried for your job, Mr. Molesley?
This is a theme. Financial problems.
Cheer up. You'll get the hang of it.
Will I?
It's just his first day, first night, right?
Only walked over for a cup of tea to chat, and I've outstayed my welcome.
Nonsense. Why not have a bite with us?
No, I'd better get back. I wouldn't want them to get home and me not be there to let them in.
No, you wouldn't. Not when you're essential.
Coming all the way here. Why not say it on the telephone?
I have no idea.
If Mr. Swire's lawyer wants to see you and it's urgent, it means he's left you something.
I doubt it. I hope not.
Why?
Okay. So, Mr. Swire's lawyer. I wonder if Matthew's gonna get some money. Uh-oh. What the heck? Wow, they're a couple now for sure. After all of that in season 1 and 2. Good for them. They seem happy. Happy for them. They've gone through a lot, I think. There they are. Look at them, how they're dressed.
Tell me, did you send the money?
What money?
No.
Tom, welcome to Downton.
I hope I am welcome, your ladyship.
Of course.
Come on.
There's tea in the library.
Thank you.
Wow. It's so weird being back. Look at Sybil. She looks so cute. Branson looks the same.
Hello, Mr. Carson.
Wow, it's weird being back as a guest. After the war, it's like not as colorful and, you know, out there. It's more mute, neutral.
Basically, it seems that Reggie Swire did not wish to divide his fortune. So when Lavinia died, he made a new will with a list of 3 possible heirs, of which I was the 3rd.
How much money are we talking about?
A lot. A huge amount. I had no idea. You could never have told it from Reggie's way of life.
Lucky Mr. Poolbrook.
Well, this is it. They've made inquiries. They've sent an agent out to visit his property. There's no sign of him.
Oh my gosh. That means he's gonna get the money.
Then Alfred must do it.
Alfred? He wouldn't know what to do beyond collecting dirty shoes outside the door.
Well, he'll have to learn.
You guys, be flexible. Come on. Okay, but this Polbrook's gonna show up, isn't he?
No, milady, I don't own a set of tails. Or a dinner jacket either. I wouldn't get any use out of them.
Well, I hope you own a morning coat since you're here for a wedding.
No, I'm afraid I don't.
We live a completely different kind of life, Papa.
Obviously.
Oh man, come on.
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I can't turn into somebody else just to please you.
More's the pity.
Do you approve of the new act?
Would you approve of your country being divided by a foreign power?
Is keeping the monarchy a problem?
Would it be a problem for you to be ruled by the German Kaiser?
Oh my goodness.
Carson, you're right. I've been very clumsy, my lord.
Don't talk about politics at dinner.
I thought them very down on him.
That is because you know nothing.
And wasn't he down on them? Insulting our country, insulting the king?
But it must be hard, Mr. Carson, To sit up there with people he used to drive around.
It is hard, Mrs. Hughes. Please, sit down. And we've been following the story of Mr. Bates. Mary keeps us informed.
Carson is not happy.
I mustn't interrupt your dinner.
Thank you for coming down.
Miss O'Brien's at least civil. There are a lot of hard feelings.
Mary keeps us informed.
Well, he knows her now.
He wants to play their game. He better learn their rules.
I don't know, Carson. Times are changing.
What did the lawyer want? I presume he turned up.
He did, and it's rather complicated. But you were right, it was about Reggie's will.
So he's left you something?
But I spoke to Mr. Carson tonight and they won't be taking anyone new on.
Except a footman.
I don't know how Mr. Carson managed it because his lordship's put his foot down.
You've still kept me here with a dishonest representation.
Oh dear.
Wow. She's getting paid more.
I'm Mrs. Branson and we get on with our lives like millions of others. But here he feels so patronised. And he hates it. He's a wonderful, wonderful man. I just wish you knew him.
It must be so awkward and uncomfortable.
The father, Lord Merton, is Mary's godfather. But Larry Gray used to be keen on me.
Are you keen on him?
No, I don't think so. I can hardly remember, to be honest.
So what are you saying?
Please don't talk about Ireland all the time. I just want to make things easier for you.
For me or for you?
Maybe it's good to talk about something else. Why have to talk about Ireland all the time? I guess it's not... Can't blame him. It's a big part of his life and of what's going on in the world.
So if they can't find Mr. Pillbox, what will you do with the money?
They will find him.
But if they don't?
I wonder how much money they're talking about here.
Because I can't keep it.
No, of course not.
Why were you so heavily invested in one enterprise? Wasn't it foolish? Has some of my fortune been lost?
Some. All. Almost all.
Oh, my dear.
It's not so good for you.
Don't worry about me. I'm an American. Have gun will travel.
Oh, thank God for you. Anyway.
Oh, she's sticking with him.
You know what?
He's lost everything.
I'm glad we have a wedding to celebrate. Let's make sure it's a great day.
Good job, Cora. You're supporting him through this.
To be our last, let's make it a wonderful last.
That's a good attitude.
Enjoy our lovely home and the lovely people we spent our life among.
This is sad. They have to say goodbye to everyone soon, I think. Unless Matthew gets the money and saves everyone.
I thought it might be better if I moved down to the pub.
You're not serious.
I can't go through too many more dinners like last night.
You don't make it easy for them.
I can see them staring, and I know they don't want me here.
Well, don't include me. Or Mary.
She wasn't too keen on the idea of a chauffeur for a brother-in-law.
Forget that. She's a pragmatist. Forget this and walk back. We're brothers-in-law with high-minded wives. We better stick together.
Good job, Matthew. I like that. Come on, they're brothers-in-law now.
I do not believe when Vera decided to kill herself, she never mentioned it to another living soul.
Why are you sure it was suicide and not murder?
Well, I know you didn't kill her.
Honestly, prison, I thought it would look a lot worse. But who wants to be in prison?
Is that what you meant?
Yes. Perfect. We'll see if Sir Anthony notices.
Still after Sir Anthony. After all this time.
Bates is older than you, and you're as happy as lovebirds.
Our situation is hardly ideal, but
Yeah, he's in prison.
we're very happy together.
Which is all that matters, as I keep telling them.
Your hair looks nice.
I was hoping you could help young Alfred to find his way about.
As a footman, you mean?
As a valet. But you could tell him what he needs to know. Give him an advantage.
Why? What's the rush? Can you remember what I had to go through to be a valet?
Of course, I watched it, didn't I?
But young Alfred is to make the great leap in one bound. Well, I'm sorry, Miss O'Brien, but I'm not convinced. If you'll excuse me.
Yeah. Uh-oh. They're not so tight anymore, are they? I mean, she wants to just help her nephew, I guess, but I can't blame her for asking. She asked nicely, but Thomas is not going to just do that for nothing. He's had to claw back to Downton as well after the war, so...
There's nothing he can do.
I don't agree. I think it's feeble. He should will himself not to be ill and then collapse the next day. Whom will you ask instead?
Talking about his wedding party?
Imagine how curious I was when I found out you'd be here tonight.
Never thought we'd meet in person.
Are these the Greys? They are, right?
Did they lose your suitcase on the way over? How maddening for you.
No, my suitcase arrived safely, thank you. Along with my manners.
Oh, man. Branson. I don't know how to feel about that. Should you fit in or just be yourself? I don't know.
What a pleasure it is to see you out and about, Sir Anthony. I want to say, can I be of any help? But you don't seem to need any.
He doesn't need help at all, do you? He won't let me do anything.
Mustn't be a nuisance, you know. You look very nice. Have you done something jolly with your hair? I say, what the devil?
What is it?
What the devil? Of what?
How's it going?
Awkward. Mr. Branson's well aware and Lady Sybil doesn't like it much. I don't understand it. He's only had one cocktail.
Maybe he was drinking before he came down to calm his nerves.
Branson, behave.
Agree, and I don't care who knows it. Well, the Black and Tans are there to restore order, are they? Why don't they just murder the entire population and then you wouldn't hear a squeak out of any of them?
Branson.
Well, I was only just saying that I thought that...
He's interested in Irish repression, like all of you.
Oh.
What's so funny?
Nothing, I'm just enjoying this vivid display of Irish character.
Please don't. We don't need to wear everyone out.
Am I not being polite enough?
Wait a minute, this was down to you, wasn't it?
I don't know what you mean.
Yes, you do. I saw you. You put something in his drink, didn't you?
Oh.
How true is it, Larry?
What a beastly thing to do.
Oh, come on, Edith.
Listen, everyone, Mr. Gray has given my brother-in-law something to make him appear drunk.
Tom has been the victim of a cruel prank, which I know you will all be kind enough to forget.
Forgive, perhaps. Forget, never.
Is this
Granny.
true, Larry? I don't know why you're all getting so hot under the collar. He's only a grubby little chauffeur chap.
Be silent this instant, sir.
I apologize for my son, Mr. Branson. Unreservedly. I only hope you recover before the wedding.
I hope so too, since I want him to be my best man.
Bravo.
Yes.
Well said.
Good job, Matthew.
I've told you before, if we're
Absolutely.
mad enough to take on the Crawley girls, we have to stick together.
Oh, thank you, Matthew. Thank you so much.
Good job, Matthew. Dude, you're a good man.
Nice of you.
What a good thing.
You saved the day, really?
No, I wouldn't say that. Matthew saved the day.
No, it was you. I do hope we'll be seeing a bit more of you.
This guy's a good man, too.
Wouldn't you like that?
Oh, I should like that very much.
Sir Anthony has always been a good man to the Crawley family and to Edith. Until that joke, that cruel joke that Mary played in season 1. I mean, he is a little old, but he treats her nicely.
When will you tell the girls?
I think I should tell Mary now.
No, not before the wedding, surely.
I must. Do you think we should say something to your mother when she gets here?
No, don't worry. She'll bring enough drama of her own.
Oh, boy. Tell Mary so she could tell you about Matthew.
You're a touchy fella, aren't you?
Don't push me, Chris.
Is that a warning?
Yes.
I'm warning you.
What a cellmate. I would hate to be in prison during these times. Oh my god. Anytime, but especially these times.
Can I have one moment alone to give Mary my blessing?
That's lovely.
Tell her so she can tell you about Matthew and the money he's run into. That's going to save this household.
But there's something I feel I ought to tell you first. I wanted to wait until you got back, but I don't believe I can.
That sounds rather ominous.
Okay. It is ominous.
Hello, Mr. Mosley. I got a message to call on Mrs. Crawley.
Very good, sir.
Come in, Tom.
Tom.
May I call you Tom?
Of course. Good afternoon, my lady. That is, Lady Grantham. I'm glad to find you here because I want to apologize for last night.
Oh, there's no need. We know it was not your fault.
You weren't the first drunk in that dining room, I can assure you. Well, you've got me there.
Why was it you wanted to see me?
We've asked Molesley to look out Matthew's old morning coat. He's confident he can make it fit.
That's very kind, ladies. But you see, I don't approve of these costumes. I see them as the uniform of oppression, and I should be uncomfortable wearing them.
Are you quite finished?
I have.
Good.
Now try it on.
Please take off your coat. Molesley, do help him.
If you'll just slip it off, sir.
Just do it for the wedding so that everyone can... You can't stick out. It's not about you.
They're forcing me into a morning coat.
He has no say in it.
No, he doesn't, and nor do you.
Come on, man. Just look nice for the wedding. It's not about you. Especially don't stick out and make a distraction for them. Okay, is this the arrival of the other grandmama?
Cora, Mother, how lovely to see you. As long as it is. Robert, aren't you going to kiss me?
With the greatest enthusiasm.
Carson and Mrs. Hughes, the world has moved on since last we met.
And we have moved on with it, madam.
Really? It seems so strange to think of the English embracing change. Mrs. Hughes, this is my maid, Reed. Sybil, tell me all about the arrangements for the birth. We do these things so much better in the States.
She has a big personality.
Dearest Mary, now you tell me all of your wedding plans, and I'll see what I can do to improve them.
She's so American. So loud and out there, but entertaining.
I would so like to understand why he gets to inherit my late husband's money.
I know, it's funny, isn't it?
Not everyone shares your sense of humor.
But surely it doesn't matter now that they're getting married.
Oh, gosh. Does Mary know now, though?
Tom's a journalist now, Grandmama.
Oh, well. I've heard of those journeys on my side of the water. It's very pleasant to hear of them happening here.
Okay. Tell him.
What happened in the search for Mr. Pumpkin, Swire's heir?
Polbrook, right?
Sent a telegram. I've got it here, actually.
I mean, why not just tell her? No, nothing turned up?
Convincing proof of Polbrook's death. Stop. Investigating date.
He's not dead. He's gonna come back.
If Polbrook died after Reggie, then his heirs get the money. But if he died first, then I do.
But that's absurd. What right have his heirs to inherit anything?
Well, darling, what right have I? And frankly, what difference does it make? I shan't keep it if I get it.
Because something rather terrible has happened. Apparently, Papa has lost a great deal of money. Enough to ruin him. Enough for us to lose Downton.
God, I'm sorry.
Surely, if Mr. Polbrook did die before Swire, then we're saved.
But I broke Lavinia's heart and she died. He never knew that. How could I possibly allow myself to profit from her death? To dine in splendor? Because I took away a woman's will to live.
You're prepared to destroy us in payment for your destroying her.
Darling, please. You know I would do anything for this family.
Anything except help us. Except save Papa from living out the rest of his days in humiliation and grief. And what about us? What about our children? God, Matthew, how can you be so disappointing?
Mary, please.
No! Don't you see what a difference this makes? It means that you're not on our side, Matthew. It means that deep down you're not on our side.
Oh, wow. What a fight the night before the wedding. Oh. Uh-oh. Did she hear all that? I wonder how much Edith heard. Matthew's conscience, it weighs heavy on him.
Do you know where you're going for the honeymoon?
Oh, I want to talk about that. They'll stay in London with Lady Rosamond for a couple of days just to get used to each other. And then they go to the south of France. I'll hire a replacement in London and then I'll come home instead.
Why would you do that?
Well, to be near you, of course.
While I'm in here, you have to live my life as well as your own. Go to France, see some sights, get us some memories.
But I wouldn't be home for a month.
And won't we have something to talk about?
Oh, it's not the same without Bates.
Violin. Oh.
Yeah, how'd you find Downton on your return?
Much the same, really. Tell me, what do you think of young Lochinvar, who has so ably carried off our granddaughter and our money? Do you approve of him?
Not as much as you will when you get to know him. You Americans never understand the importance of tradition.
Yes, we do. We just don't give it power over us.
Why argue now?
Maybe you should think about letting go of its hand.
Whoa. Granny, have you met your match?
Here you are. I see you've said hello to Grandmama.
She is like a homing pigeon. She finds our underbelly every time.
A homing pigeon. Come on, Grandmama.
Branson is Tom. You're a member of the family now. You'll find we Crawleys stick together.
Not always.
Mary, what is it?
Oh, nothing, it's just...
Ugh, you can't hide anything, can you?
You married her?
Is Daisy all right, Mrs. Patmore?
Oh, yes. She's been such a big help. Now, I think we should check the pudding, Daisy. Do you agree?
Daisy, do your job.
Everyone cries at some point before their wedding.
But what was the quarrel about?
I'm not sure. I know she accused him of not being on our side.
Oh, well, I hope she's wrong. That could be rather serious.
Of course he's on our side. It's ridiculous. I'll go and see him.
No, I'll go. I'm his best man. I should be the one to go.
What?
I know what it is to marry into this family. I'm not comparing myself to Mr. Crawley, but he is another kind of outsider.
Well, I hardly...
Well, why not? He's the one who'll lose his job if the wedding's cancelled.
Let him do it.
Not responding to my protest.
Oh, not responding to my protest. Very elegant, I must say. Who've you been talking to? Thomas?
Well... Oh, just give me the cloth and I'll dry.
Stop listening to other people, Daisy. Ugh. Don't, especially Thomas.
It's not about the money. It's that he won't save Papa when he could.
He has to be true to himself.
He puts himself above the rest of us. Don't you see?
What I see is a good man, milady, and they're not like buses. There won't be another one along in 10 minutes' time.
He is a good man. He has integrity, and his conscience weighs on him heavily.
If it happens, I get the money. Can't do what she wants.
It's strange for me to be arguing about inherited money and saving estates when the old me would like to put a bomb under the lot of you.
But
you're meant to be together. I've known that as long as I've been at the house. And at first this kept you apart, and then that kept you apart. But please don't risk it a third time.
Yes.
I'll tell you this.
Don't risk it another time.
You won't be happy with anyone else while Lady Mary walks the earth. I know what I'll call you if you let this chance slip through your fingers.
Yeah, Lavinia's gone now, so is her family. Just do what he wanted you to do.
No, go away. I'm undressed. You can't come in.
one word. Come to the door.
Please. Just give him this chance.
Come on. Mary, don't be so mean right now.
I refuse to quarrel about something that hasn't happened and probably never will.
But if we can disagree over something as fundamental as this, then shouldn't we be brave and back away now?
No.
No. Mary, don't be an idiot.
It's because of something Tom said. That I would never be happy with anyone else as long as you walk the earth. Which is true. I think you feel the same about me.
Okay, the music's changing, so come on, it's gonna be positive.
Can I kiss you? Because I need to, very much.
No. It's bad luck to look at me.
What about if I close my eyes and you do too?
All right. You mustn't cheat.
It's an awkward kiss. She cheated. You don't trust him, do you? God, Mary. Mary still infuriates me. I just... Mary.
Right. I'm off to collect Matthew.
You look very smart.
I hope so, because I'm extremely uncomfortable.
Branson.
Tom.
That is Tom. I want to thank you for what you did last night. I'm grateful. I mean it.
We're both strong characters. I'd say we have plenty of slamming doors and shouting matches to come.
Forgive me, I was about to be indignant, but of course you have a perfect right to speak as you do.
I hope you mean that too.
I do. Now, hurry up.
Come on, Lord Grantham.
Because when two people love each other, you understand, everything is the most terrific fun.
Careful, Mama, or you'll shock Anna.
I'm a married woman now, milady.
They're all married except for Edith.
What's so thrilling is that this is every bit as romantic.
Thank you for always being so sweet.
I love Sybil. She's the best.
Great big motor car onto yourselves. Just
Are those the flower girls?
expect you to behave as if you were quite
Wow,
grown
look
up.
at that. The carriages.
Is everything you need?
Yes.
Oh, how cute.
Settle down. All right?
Look at that food.
Have you got everything you
Wow.
need? We do. Now,
Wow, I wonder what all of that is.
Here comes the bride.
Wow, look at her. Look at their faces. They're in shock. Oh, look at them. Her father and her father figure.
Very nicely, my lady.
They look so proud.
You're happy?
I am. And what about you?
So very happy, I feel my chest will explode.
What a happy day. I mean, there are things not going well, but this should be a happy day.
I'm very grateful to you for keeping Mr. Branson up to the mark. We both are, aren't we?
We certainly are. Thank you, sir.
Pre-wedding music hasn't changed that much in 100 years, has it?
You're next, darling, you'll see.
Will I?
So encouraging to see the future unfurl.
It's just Edith left, so... Wow, look at their outfits. Look at that. Look at that. That's so cool. She must feel so happy and excited. Who wouldn't like that? To go out and everyone's cheering for you? Wow. Wow, look at how grand that is. That's so awesome. Love it.
Good luck.
It's a beautiful church. Love this organist. It's cool. Look at those flower girls. It's so cute. I love a good wedding. Who doesn't, right?
You came. To be honest, I wasn't completely sure you would.
I'm glad to hear it. I should hate to be predictable.
Come on, it's about time. Oh, they left it there? So they're not going to show the wedding, huh? Or maybe they will in the next episode? I don't know. Wow, great episode. I loved it. I loved it. Wow. Okay, that was episode 1, season 3 of Downton Abbey. Love that episode. It was so great. We got to meet the other grandmother. Lot of personality, and I can see her and our Dowager Countess just like this. It's like the new Cousin Isabel. It's a new version of that. The British side versus the American side, that kind of a conflict. I don't know if it's a conflict, but they're like a little scratchy on each other. Grinding each other's gears, I guess. I loved the interaction with Branson. I thought that was enlightening, especially to see the politics of it all play out. I didn't really like that he was causing a scene at this occasion because it's not really his thing. It's about the wedding and the reception and everything. I would not want to disturb that and cause a distraction. But then at the same time, he has to be true to himself and he can't just hide who he is. You're there for another reason, which is to attend a wedding, and I wouldn't want anything to get in the way of that. Save that for another time. Ireland and England and that whole political situation, that clearly comes through as something that Branson is passionate about, and I know that there's a lot of history there. I know that there's a lot that went on and is continuing to go on, will continue to go on through the 1900s, even up to today. That was a great aspect of the story that I didn't expect, but I'm glad that we are getting some of that. They ended at the wedding. I feel like Matthew has a lot of his conscience weighing down on him, and that he is a good man, but sometimes he gets a little bit over dramatic. You know what? I can see both sides with Mary and Matthew, but they're at the wedding altar. I don't know whether they finished the wedding. I'm assuming that they finish and they get married. I don't know what's going to happen in the next episode, but I'm really anxious to go on with it. If you like this video, if you like this content, please give me a like or subscribe. It really helped me out. Or you can go watch the full length watch along video on my Patreon. And with that, I'll leave you. See you next time. Bye now. Hello everyone, I am James. Welcome to my channel, Jimmy Wren Reacts. We're on to season 3, episode 2 of Downton Abbey. Can't wait to get into this. We ended on Matthew and Mary's wedding. We didn't really see the whole wedding, just the beginning, but there's a little bit of trouble at Downton Abbey with money. It is a happy occasion, but it's also the beginning of some drama, as usual for Downton Abbey. Nevertheless, there's more drama coming. According to some of the people in the comments, this season is supposedly the craziest yet. So here we go. If you like this video, if you like this content, please give me a like or subscribe. It'd really help me out. Or you can watch the full length watch along video on my Patreon. You can also vote on what I watch in the future. And without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, can't wait to see if we're gonna just jump right into the wedding that we left off on, or just gonna be after that. And what's gonna happen with the money that Matthew's gonna get. Looks like we skipped ahead, yep.
Who will groan first when they see it? Granny or Papa?
I should think they'll howl at the moon in unison.
Is that their new car?
What in God's name is this? Well, I never.
Where did this come from?
I ordered it on the way through in London, picked it up on the way back. It's an AC.
Well, at least it's English.
Welcome back, my darling.
How was the honeymoon?
My eyes have been opened.
Don't I know it?
It's for Mr. Matthew. It was creased and I brought it down to iron.
You're never looking after him. What about Mr. Mosley?
He's staying on at Crawley House.
Then why wasn't I asked?
Mr. Carson thought it best.
Did he indeed? I wonder how that came about. Do that in a dressing room and nowhere else.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Thomas, for always trying to be so very helpful.
You didn't try to help before, Thomas. Now you're getting mad because he's moved ahead.
Did you enjoy the south of France?
It was lovely, but almost too hot even now.
I think it's such a shame they closed things up during the summer. I love the sun.
Just how long is she here for?
Who knows?
What have you been up to?
As a matter of fact, I've found myself a new occupation, but I'm afraid Cousin Violet doesn't think it's quite appropriate.
Can we talk about it afterwards?
Are there still forbidden subjects in 1920? I can't believe it.
I speak of taste rather than law.
Well, it's not my taste.
Some subjects are not suitable for every ear.
Come on, my dear. Carson and Alfred know more about life than we ever will.
Can't we stop this?
So you're getting a little bit annoying.
What about poor old Strallen? Have you seen anything of him?
I don't know why you call him poor or old when he's neither.
Isn't it dangerous to let this Strallen nonsense simmer on?
Well, to be fair, I don't think it's coming from him.
Then ask him to end it.
Really? I thought he was being sincere, Strallen.
I think she'd eat whatever you put in front of her, that one. What a gob.
Oops.
Mrs. Levinson knows you make fun of her, but she makes fun of you.
Mrs. Levinson.
Chimney isn't drawing properly. This oven's not hot enough.
Ooh, a bad workman always blames his tools.
Well, if you could spare a minute.
To welcome you into this house as my son.
The dog's still there. Isis.
Robert, I want us always to feel we can be honest with each other.
Losing Downton will affect you both more than anyone.
I wonder if she's told you about the will of Lavinia's father.
Well, yes. Your father told me all about it. But I cannot understand why so much money was put into one company.
I couldn't agree more.
Now we're to be turned out of Downton. So you help women who have fallen over.
Cousin Isabel helps women who've had to degrade themselves to survive. There's a center in York.
We try to find them alternative employment.
The war destroyed many households, and thousands of families, the breadwinners, are dead.
Wow, that's a worthy cause.
You don't have to give money after every conversation, Mother.
No? Isn't that what the English expect of rich Americans?
But why can't you benefit from the will? You've done nothing wrong.
When Swire made it, he didn't know I'd broken his daughter's heart. It was to reward my fidelity, when in fact I'd betrayed her. If I kept that money, I would be no better than a common criminal.
Well, if that's how you feel, then there's no more to be said.
Well, it's a lump, all right. There's no point in dithering about that. What are you going to do about it?
A lump. Cancer?
Tomorrow, you'll make an appointment with the doctor and we'll see what he's got to say.
But what if it's...
If it is, and I'm not saying it is, it's best to know now.
Like breast cancer? Oh no, Mrs. Hughes.
Not be alone for a minute if you don't want to be. But we have to get it seen to.
Yes, man.
This expense. Well, if you must pay money, better to a doctor than an undertaker.
Wow, that's true.
If that's an example of your bedside manner, Mrs. Patmore, I think I'd sooner face it alone.
You know what? She's right, though.
Are you seeing Bates today?
I am, and I can't wait.
Wow, what a way to wake them up. Just
very nice.
As nice as nice can be.
Oh, they're married now.
And find out what houses are available.
Do you have to?
Would you rather wait until we have to go and find a new house then?
After all, darling, you're the one who's pushing us out.
I thought he was gonna take the money after he had talked to her the night before the wedding. I guess not. Oh. Ethel. Oh. Wait a minute. Mrs. Crawley's seen her on the street. Oh, Ethel, are you in dire straits?
Please stop saying I'm family when I'm not. I'll be there for the big dinner next week.
I know you don't mean to hurt me, but...
Of course I don't. That's the last thing I'd ever wish to do.
Then why do you shove me away?
I don't want to. Not at all. But...
If you're going to talk about your wretched arm again, I won't listen.
It's not just my arm. I'm too old for you. You need a young chap with his life ahead of him.
How old is he?
You're not going to push me away anymore. And you are coming for dinner tonight. That's all there is to it.
Edith, you just gotta make it happen with this guy. He doesn't think he deserves you, I think. And he doesn't have enough confidence in himself, maybe. But I don't know. Maybe it's not that. Maybe it's just he doesn't really want to push that on her.
Let me see. One was Mr. Harlip, I think. And the other was Mrs. Bartlett.
Look, Mrs. Bartlett's a shame. She lived around the corner. She was very friendly with Vera.
I'll find her.
Something's up with this.
To Portagata.
He can't do anything with it, though. He's in prison. Oh, God. What a tease.
You're not feeling ill or tired?
I can't swear to not feeling tired, but nothing out of the ordinary.
I'm just going to conduct a preliminary examination.
Do you mind if I stay?
I should prefer it.
Wow.
What do you think that is?
Hard to say.
I've tried it with all the usual things, but I can't shift it.
I'll give you a tip if you like.
Would you? Really?
But keep it to yourself. I don't want to give away all my secrets.
Oh, man. I have a feeling that Alfred's going to do him wrong. Do him dirty.
I've been looking for you. Now, I want to know if we're serious about asking your other grandmother to come to our aid.
She's made of money, and there's only Mama and Uncle Harold to share it when she's gone.
We must make her feel it is her duty to save Downton.
But how? What can we do?
How much money does she have, though?
When you come back in a day or two, I'll remove some fluid from the cyst. With any luck, it'll be clear, and that will be that.
What I want to know is what happens if the fluid is not clear.
It'll be sent away for analysis.
Because it may be cancer.
It may be cancer, but I am fairly certain it is not.
There you are. It's very, very unlikely, isn't it, Doctor?
Doctor treats me like an adult. Mrs. Patmore, why do you insist on treating me like a child?
Yeah, be real. Come on.
Does this seem slow to you?
Oh, really?
What's up with the chimney?
Our house with the others for tea.
Huh. He likes her.
I think he likes me.
He's being friendly,
Read.
that's all.
I don't know. He winked at her, though.
Anything from Mr. Swire's lawyer?
You can read it if you like.
So you are definitely Reggie's heir?
Looks like it. They have to get a death certificate out of the Indian authorities. It won't all be settled by Tuesday.
Good.
Why is it good?
The delay may give you time to change your mind.
Stop punishing me, Mary, please. If I accepted the legacy, I would be taking money under false pretenses. I'd be stealing.
Not really. There's nothing illegal about it.
I do love you so terribly much.
Then make her happy.
I know you do.
Nothing illegal about it. He left it to you. All the other heirs are dead.
You know how things work here, Mother. If there's a boy, the daughters don't get anything.
There's no such thing as an English heiress with a brother. He hates to leave America. I should hate to go there.
You don't mean that, Granny, when we're both so drawn to America.
Indeed, indeed, we are. Never more than now, when the bond between the Crawleys and the Levinsons is so strong.
That's nice.
Maggie Smith is such a great actress. Uh-oh, she
You
knows
mean
something
you
else.
needed the Levinson cash to keep the Crawleys on top?
I'm not sure we'd put it that way. Mamma's fortune has been well spent in shoring up an ancient family.
No, you gotta spend it on something.
Okay. Mrs. Levinson's a little bit annoying. You know?
You just what?
There was a mark in.
Well, I knew there was a mark in it, but you didn't need to burn it away. Well, I'll go down in my dinner jacket. You can send it to my tailor in London in the morning. Come on, nobody's died. Just find the dinner jacket.
Oh, did Thomas screw him over?
I am trying, and so far failing, to persuade his lordship to bring the staff levels back up to snuff. But until he does, it is vital that you pull your weight.
Oh. Poor Mrs. Hughes. Oh.
Don't blame me for this. I'm afraid Alfred and I had a bit of a disaster earlier.
Why, what happened?
Somehow the poor chap managed to burn a hole in my tails. Don't worry, it can be mended.
Careful, Carson. Steady the buffs.
I rather like dinner jackets.
Oh.
And I agree with you. Sometimes it's nice to be informal.
But the role of houses like Downton is to protect tradition. That's why they're so important to maintain.
Everything in our power to keep houses like Downton going.
Sure, if you think it's worth it. So who's coming to dinner next week?
I'm glad we've planned a dinner. We can show you the real point of Downton.
Okay, she's suspicious. She's looking around like, what the heck's going on?
Here? Alfred has embarrassed the family. He forced Mr. Matthew to appear downstairs improperly dressed. Oh. I will not tolerate vulgarity, thank you, Miss O'Brien.
I'm sure Alfred didn't mean to, Mr. Carson.
How did he burn it?
I asked Thomas out to get them out.
Oi, what's this?
Stuff you gave me to clean the tails burned a hole in them.
No such thing. I gave you some soda crystals, that's all. If you use them wrongly, it's not my fault. This is what comes of making him run before he could walk.
Thomas screwed him over. O'Brien knows. Oh, Thomas. You haven't changed that much, have you?
I know it sounds harsh.
Please, Robert, I understand completely. Lady Edith is your daughter, and you don't want her involved with some cripple who's far too old. The trouble is, she calls round regularly. I can hardly ask for her not to be admitted.
She does.
I suppose I could write to her.
I hope you won't feel we can't be friends after this.
But let's leave it for a while. I'll duck out to the dinner next week.
It might be best. Thank you.
Who's Edith gonna be with? That's who she likes.
Soda crystals.
But you didn't give me that. You pointed to this one.
Is that acid?
You don't have to promise. I believe you.
So you think he's not ready?
He's just a lad, my lord. He can see to the odd visitor, but permanent valet to Mr. Matthew.
So what would you suggest?
Ask Mr. Mosley to join us.
Give Mosley a chance finally. Oh, Mosley deserves it. He's been waiting, and he's good. Mosley's good. He can do the job.
This dinner has to be the grandest of the grand.
What do you hope to show her?
Why Downton matters. Why it mustn't be allowed to fall apart.
So you mean to fleece her?
Since you're the one to get us out of this hole if you wanted to, I won't take any criticism. Thank you.
Will she do it?
Granny means to make her or die in the attempt.
They have some lifelines, though. It's better than some other people have.
We're short of a footman. We're short of a kitchen maid and one housemaid at least. That's if Anna's to be a proper lady's maid, which is what Lady Mary wants. For heaven's sake, we can't do things properly until either his lordship allows us the staff we need, or until you and the blessed Lady Mary come down from that cloud and join the human race.
I can only suppose that you are overtired. I bid you good night.
You see, good night, Mr. Carson. We will discuss the dinner in the morning.
Should tell Carson.
And no, Mrs. Patmore, you may not tell him.
You should. You've been working with him for years.
Mr. Molesley will be coming up from the village.
Has Mr. Matthew complained?
He didn't have to. That's not your fault. We've hurried you along too fast. You mustn't feel badly.
Oh, gosh.
This is Thomas's doing. But don't you fret. I'll make him sorry.
Man, they're like becoming adversaries now. O'Brien and Thomas. Who's gonna win that one? I think Thomas will. Thomas is resourceful. Oh, he's down and out. Feeling sad.
I'm on your side.
I'm glad somebody is.
Read. Oh, man.
We thought we'd get Molesley to come and look after you. He knows your ways.
I'm perfectly happy.
I think it best if he comes.
I do need to talk to you about the other staff we need, my lord.
Not now, Carson. But you may send for Molesley if Mrs. Crawley has no objection.
Edith?
She's unhappy.
Pa, how could you?
Oh, man. Lord Grantham is so out of touch with everything.
What are you so afraid of? If we sell, we move to a smaller house and a more modest estate. We don't have to go down the mine.
You don't understand. You're American and I am English. I shall be Countess of Grantham one day, and in my book, the Countess of Grantham lives at Downton Abbey.
A lot of families, aristocratic families, must be going through this during this time, though, no? Oh, Ethel, what have you got yourself into?
Because we're not simply here to give you food. We must try to find you your place in the world.
Ethel.
Wait a minute. I know you. You were the maid who brought your child into the dining room at Downton that time.
I'm sorry, this has been a mistake. I thought I was ready to ask you, but I'm not.
Ask me what?
For help.
The fact is, it's not quite as simple.
Oh, my God.
Mrs. Patmore, will you please leave the
Don't
hysteria
panic.
to me?
I'm afraid the test was inconclusive.
So what happens now?
I send it away for analysis. Anything up to 2 months.
Oh, my.
Until then, please try to take it a little more easily.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Let me just say something to Lady Grantham.
No, thank you, Doctor. I'll speak to her myself if I need to.
You should. This is serious.
My darling girl, what's this?
I think you know what it is since you asked Sir Anthony to write.
Sybil marries a chauffeur and you welcome him to Downton. But when I'm in love with a gentleman, you cast him into the outer darkness.
She has a point, Robert. Edith tells me he has a house, he has money, he has a title, everything that you care about.
You make me sound very shallow.
Yes.
Aren't you? When you make me give him up because he has a bad arm.
He's a quarter of a century too old. Did she tell you that?
25 years older.
I don't believe he'd see you.
And I'll just wait outside until he does. And almost every young man we grew up with is dead.
I didn't say I don't like him. I like him very much.
So do I, Papa. Oh, so do I. Please, ask him back. Please, please, please.
She's asking you nicely. Just do it. Robert, you're so out of touch with all of your family. Oh my god. So frustrating.
Audrey Bartlett was the nearest thing Vera had to a friend.
That's why I want to meet her. She doesn't have to like me. I need her to be honest. I'm going to write and ask for a meeting. I can get to London and back in a day. Why do you think Vera didn't go and see her instead of sending that letter?
What do you mean?
When Vera was frightened about your visit, she wrote that letter saying how scared she was instead of walking round to see her friend.
Mosley, is this your chance? Come on. Someone give Mosley a chance for real.
They promised and promised, and I thought it was sure to be on the 7 o'clock, but it's not.
Well, I'll just have to wear black tie.
But Lady Mary, she'll...
These things don't matter as much as they did. Lady Mary knows that as well as anyone.
It's a different time now. At least Matthew's really chill about it all. He's not stressing.
I know I'm early.
Granny, come and see what we've done.
Oh, excuses.
Okay, wow.
What do you think?
Nothing succeeds like excess.
When shall we tackle her?
Nothing succeeds like excess. Man, they're wearing their tiaras and everything. Wow, look at Granny. She looks grand.
It's smoking, the range. The wind must be in the wrong direction. Just rake it through.
Where are what?
His bloody evening shirts, that's what. Where have you put them?
I haven't touched his evening shirts. Where would I?
Have you done this?
Thomas, why would I know anything about his lordship's shirts? Are you telling me his lordship's not even dressed?
Oh, Brian, you got him good.
Them all?
I haven't lost any of them, my lord. They've been taken by someone, stolen, pinched.
Why would they do that?
To get at me, my lord.
Are you not popular downstairs?
Yeah.
But for now, what are we going to do?
Better get some shirts. What do they get? Oh, everyone's arriving.
Evening, Sir John.
Wow, look at everyone so dressed up. This is like it used to be.
There must be a block in the flue. But the dinner's not cooked. We haven't even put in the soufflés. And the mutton's still raw.
What in heaven's name is going on?
We've 20 lords and ladies in the drawing room waiting for dinner, and we've got no dinner to give them.
Oh, my God.
Oh my god.
Are you not in white tie?
Darling, please forgive me. I'm afraid they never sent my tails back.
You're not in white tie either. What have you come as?
I'm so sorry. Thomas has lost all my dress shirts.
Robert, come quickly.
What is it?
Apparently the oven's broken down.
It can't have done. What does that mean?
To cut a long story short, it means we have no food.
Funny clothes and no food. Should be quite an evening.
Thank you, Mother.
Oh my god. Daisy was warning you guys.
And nothing's going to be cooked.
But surely...
Shall we just tell them to go home?
No, Cora, please, come on. They've come for a party. We're going to give them party. Carson, clear the table. You go down to the larders. You bring up bread, fruit, cheese. We're going to have an indoor picnic. They're going to eat whatever they want, wherever they want, all over the house.
Oh, come on. It might be fun.
I agree. We'll all pull together and it'll be great fun. Yes.
Oh, Mama, this is so exactly not what we wanted the evening to be.
If it's the end of your undignified campaign, I won't be sorry.
Daisy was warning that something's wrong with the oven.
You're good to lend a hand.
I don't mind helping. I think it's good to do other things sometimes.
I know you do. There's not much left of this.
Bring anything back you think a human being could swallow.
Chop, chop, Mrs. Hughes. We can rest later, but not yet.
Carson's quite right. There's not a minute to lose.
Oh man, why now? You're busy.
Do you want to know a secret? Those shirts that Thomas thinks you stole? I'll show you if you want.
Why are you being so nice to me?
Because I like you.
And you can say it just like that.
I'm an American, Alfred, and this is 1920. Time to live a little.
Thought you were just trying to find something out for Mrs. Levinson.
She won't help, you know.
Help with what?
Never mind. Just kiss me again.
Alfred, you're not very smart, are you? Dude, we got stuff to do. Daisy, why does Daisy see everything?
I'm sorry if it's all a bit casual.
It's exciting, Lord Grantham. I feel like one of those bright young people they write about in the newspapers.
Thank you, Lady Meldal.
Cheer up. She won't be here forever.
But how much damage will be done before she goes?
This is way more of a fun party. Hey, she's not as annoying as I thought initially. It's a nice little party.
Keep the love light glowing in your
The Dowager Countess.
So
She was like falling asleep. Hey, she has a decent voice. It's pretty good. I'm impressed. Look at that. Oh, that's nice.
Oh, I wish you'd let me talk to Mr. Carson.
Mrs. Hughes.
His eyes for the next 2 months. Or a dying one in the months to come after that.
Shh. I know it'll be all right.
No, you don't. But I appreciate the sentiment.
You shouldn't keep this a secret.
10 years' time, and wonder why you're tied to this crippled old codger.
Only if you keep talking like that.
Do you know how much you mean to me? You have given me back my life.
That's more like it.
How old is he? Like 50, 55, 60?
Don't worry. I can get it organised in a month. Should we tell them tonight?
No. I'll come back in the morning.
Wow. Are they gonna be engaged and get married?
American girl.
Steady, who says I do?
Do you?
All right, I suppose I do.
And it doesn't matter that she's fast or that you won't see her again after she's gone home.
So what? She made me feel good about myself, Daisy. I feel good for the first time since I came here. That's what matters to me.
Yeah. Times are changing, Daisy.
No, I'm so sorry, but you've misunderstood me. No, I cannot rescue Downton. It's a shame if it has to go, but I can't.
But why not?
Because your grandpa tied the money down. He felt that the Crawley family had quite enough.
But you said you'd help us.
My income might be generous, but I cannot touch the capital. Besides, Mary, the world has changed. These houses were built for another age. Are you quite sure you want to continue with the bother of it all?
Quite sure.
Both of our husbands tied the money up tight before they were taken.
Lord Grantham wasn't taken. He died.
I wonder what happened to him. We never really got the story of what happened to her husband, Dowager Countess's husband. He just died, I guess. I don't really know anything other than that.
Who put them back?
What?
The shirts. Who put them back?
Oh, they're back, are they? You mean you overlooked them in the first place?
Don't tell me what I mean, Miss O'Brien.
Stop warning me and go and lay out his lordship's pyjamas.
What were you laughing at?
Seems those missing shirts went for a walk and now they've come home.
Really? Have they?
These two.
You didn't see nothing.
I agree.
Because if you did, I'll cut you.
Damn, this dude. He's crazy. I dare you to take bait. Baits will just mess you up, man. That's right.
Don't ever threaten me.
That's right.
I forgot I was sharing a cell with a murderer. Don't forget it again.
Yeah, I would use that to scare people. Alleged. Well, he's convicted now. Not alleged. He's convicted.
It has made me homesick for America. It's time to go.
Yes.
I don't suppose you want some whiskey to take to bed?
Oh, but I'd love one. No water. Thank you.
She seems fun, really.
That's what Mary wanted.
Ah. I thought there was something.
Robert, you're so in the dark about everything.
Sometimes I feel like a creature in the wilds whose natural habitat is gradually being destroyed.
Some animals adapt to new surroundings.
Yes.
Seems a better choice than extinction.
I don't think it is a choice. I think it's what's in you.
Well, let's hope that what's in you will carry you through these times to a safer shore.
Yes, cheers to that. Oh, that whiskey looks good right now. I could use one. Robert is in the dark about everything. Gosh.
Was there something you wanted?
The kitchen managed well tonight, in difficult circumstances. His lordship sent his thanks. Where's the style, Mrs. Hughes? Where's the show?
Perhaps people are tired of style and show.
Well, in my opinion, to misquote Dr. Johnson, if you're tired of style, you are tired of life.
Good night, Mr. Carson.
You'd say if anything was wrong, wouldn't you? I know I've been a bit crabby, but I am on your side.
Carson knows something.
Thank you for that.
Come on. Well, it's her business, and nothing is definite yet, so I guess she can wait. You know, she deserves some privacy until the right time.
Mr. Carson says you did well tonight.
Did you tell him?
And what is there to tell?
Yeah,
One
nothing's
day,
definite.
I will die. And so will he, and you, and every one of us under this roof.
That's dark. At least Miss Patmore knows. Somebody knows. Of course, the doctor knows too, but he can't tell anyone. Oh, gosh. I hope she tells someone else soon. It's hard to go through these things alone. Wow, that was kind of a sad episode. Okay, so that was Season 3, Episode 2 of Downton Abbey. Well, that was kind of a sad episode, and I'm really worried about Mrs. Hughes. I don't think she'll go away and have cancer and die and things like that. She hasn't had something happen to her in a while, so probably the writers need to write something for her. Nevertheless, it was still sad to see her struggling, and Carson was being, he was being pretty tough, but he was having a stressful time managing the whole thing without certain staff being there. Mrs. Levinson, Cora's mom, she was annoying a little bit at first. Kept talking about how times were changing, and she was being very, I guess, stereotypically American, loud and proud and all that stuff. I appreciated her by the end of the episode. I thought she was just trying to think of things in a new way, new perspective, and have fun too. That's really important. To see that the guests were okay with it, and then it actually showed that people don't always want tradition. They want new things, and it is 1920, so times are changing. It's after the war, and the 20s were roaring, so I can see how attitudes definitely have changed. In the United States, there's prohibition. That isn't what's in the UK, and they can still drink alcohol, and it was great to see that Mrs. Levinson had a whiskey, neat, no water. That was cool, actually. I thought that was kind of interesting to see that, her enjoying it. It was also interesting to see Mosley and Alfred and Thomas and O'Brien, that interaction. That's kind of crazy. I didn't think that Thomas and O'Brien would be at each other like that ever, but I think probably Thomas seems like he hasn't changed that much. O'Brien seems like she's lightened up a little bit and become a little bit more empathetic and nice. Not all the time, but sometimes. I would try to help my nephew too. She asked nicely too. She didn't really, give him a guilt trip about it, and he was just mean. So anyway, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm still thinking Matthew is going to take the money and use it for Downton, even though it seems like a lot of aristocracies and their houses, by this time, they've run out of money. I read in some of the comments that actually was a common thing to happen, and they needed external help to help them stay afloat and keep their houses intact. So I don't know what's going to happen in the next episodes. I will be watching the next ones very soon. If you've been here with me, thank you so much for your support. Please give me a like or subscribe. It really helped me out. Or you can watch the full-length watch-along episodes on my Patreon, where you can vote for what I'm going to watch next. With that, I'll leave you. See you next time. Bye now.